When you're starting out as an online personal trainer, focusing way too much on lead generation could be the reason why your business is going to struggle in the future. Let's dig into why that might be the case. Welcome to this week's episode, and we're going to be digging into why just focusing purely on lead generation could be what hinders your business in the future. Everywhere you look online now, there's somebody saying, get more leads, you need more leads. This is how to build your lead generation. I completely get it. Without leads, you don't have sales. Without sales, you don't have cash. Without cash, you don't have a business. So leads are extremely important. The problem is, if we purely just focus on the lead generation part of this, it doesn't allow us to build the foundation. So the moment there's some turbulence with your business, when things don't quite go to plan, and I promise you, you're going to have good years and bad years when it comes to building your business and growing your business, then everything's going to start crumbling down because you haven't got those right foundations in place. So what I want to do now is bring up this focus pyramid that we teach over in the PTD Ninja Academy, and I want to break it down for you and show you exactly where you should be focusing your energy the most for your business, no matter whether you're doing a side hustle or you're doing a six-figure business. So let's go and dig into this. So this is our focus pyramid. It's exactly what we go through with all our new members at the PTD Ninja Academy. I'm going to quickly take you through each of these stages very quickly, and I'm going to explain a little bit about how this income curve works in relation to this pyramid, and really where you should be focusing your energy the majority of the time. So let's go for each of these very, very quickly. The first thing is you down at the bottom. It's all about what you want from your business. At the end of the day, businesses are a tool to help us achieve and live the lives that we actually want. If your business doesn't allow you to go and achieve those things and do those things, then I would question what's the point of having a business in the first place. Now, the interesting thing is, unless you truly understand why you're actually doing your business in the first place, it's almost impossible to do the rest of this stuff that you see on here, because all of these here require targets. And without understanding why you're actually in business in the first place, then it's impossible to set targets in order to go and reach those goals. Now, if you think about this, you will do this with your clients all the time. They come to you and say, I want to lose X amount of pounds. What's the first thing you do? You say, well, why do you actually want to go and lose that? You start understanding the deeper reasons around why that weight for them actually matters. And what you might find is that arbitrary number might not actually mean anything. It might be too little. It might be too much. It might not have any relation to what they actually really need to do in order to achieve the goals that they really want. And the other side of this is, as you know, when you're training clients, things are going to get hard. At the end of the day, you're trying to transform a person. You're trying to get them to go to that next level. And we're trying to do exactly the same here for your business. You want to start from here, which isn't much, and work your way up to the top, which is a lot more. So by doing so, we're going through this learning curve. We're going through this growth curve. And as you know, with your clients, growth can be quite painful, which means there's going to be ups and downs within your business. There's going to be good times, there's going to be bad times, whether that's a bad week, a bad month, a bad year, or sometimes even more. And it's about making sure you have these foundations in place to weather that. Because if you don't and you focus on the wrong area and have a kind of upside down pyramid, which a lot of people do, well, when that wind blows, it's going to come crumbling down. And we don't want that to happen to you. So once we understand what our goals are for our business, we can then make sure we can ride through that bad time. We can push through and work harder when we need to. But it also means we can start setting targets for these things up here. So let's talk about these things. The main thing you want to be focused on is your sales and your marketing, because sales is what makes money at the end of the day. And marketing is what basically shows people you exist and what it is you want to do. You're building a relationship with people. We need to focus on building relationships with people and then converting them into actually cash into your bank. You need to make sure you have the processes, the targets, and the systems in place in order to do that consistently. So before you even focus on anything else, focus on that. And the chances are, and I've pretty much found this every single time I work with somebody, people actually already have leads. They already have literally hundreds, if not more leads available to them. They just don't know how to go and find them. And that sales and marketing process is going to help you go and do that. The next thing we want to look at here is product. So you'll notice something about this. It's product. There's no S on the end down here. We are talking about one product. And again, this is, I think, where some people fail quite a lot when it comes to new online business, new online programs. They try to offer way too much. You just need to go and focus on one singular product. So that is going to be one service that solves one particular problem for one particular type of person. If you can do that, you're going to find it so much easier to make those sales and also market your services and get you closer to where you actually want to be with your business. Now, above that, we then have lead generation. So this is the idea of attracting and bringing new leads into your business. Again, extremely important. Is what this whole video was technically all about why a lot of people focus on lead generation first, but you can see it's actually quite high up in the pyramid. And the thing is, there's no point going all in on lead generation unless you have a really good product that's going to help you develop that relationship with the client, get some money in, retain them for the long term and make more money in the long term. And there's no point doing lots of lead generation unless you have absolutely switched on sales and marketing processes, because if you don't, you're going to spend all that time, effort, and money on lead generation that you're going to drive in and you're not going to go make any sales. And you're also going to find that if you don't have your marketing in place, that lead generation is going to take a hell of a lot longer, which means it's going to cost you more money in the long run. So you've got to have these things in place first. Next up, once you've got your lead generation in place, you can start really looking at your teams and operations. So this is really when we start digging deeper into more in-depth SOPs, so standard operating procedures for your business, and look at expanding your team, whether that's going to be virtual assistants, whether it's going to be people you employ, whether it's going to be new trainers, whether it's going to be an accountant, whatever it is. You may get help in different areas of your business, especially where your weaknesses might be. Or maybe, again, if you understand what you're actually in business for in the first place, you'll realize it's not just about money. It's also about the time that you have available and having autonomy over both those things. Now, in order to have true autonomy over both your time and your income, you need to go and build a team. It'll be impossible for you otherwise to have that full autonomy. So once we've got our team and ops in place, that's when we'll start looking at things like range. So range is something a lot of people ask me, they get a bit confused about. What do I actually mean by range? Well, range might be the different services that you might offer. So back down here, we talked about a singular product, but as your business develops, you might start looking at other different services that you might want to offer in your business or even outside of your business. This is really just increasing the scope of what you do to help you then get closer to your goals. Then finally, we have our finance up at the top. Of course, finance is really important. In fact, you should be doing all of this stuff at all points in your business. There's at no point where you just focus on one thing and not the other. This really is all about where you focus the majority of your efforts. And that's what we're going to be digging in now. Well, let's look over this side here. We have our income curve from less to more. You can see down here, I put a few arbitrary numbers. We have 50K, K, and K per month. Now, these don't particularly mean anything. I don't want you to take these with a pinch of salt. It's just to give you a rough idea of the size of the business you might want to be looking at about when you kind of shift your focus. But this is going to vary from person to person. It's going to vary from business to business, from market to market. And it's also going to vary depending on what your goals are. You see how everything pretty much comes down to what your goals are in all of this process. Let's take a look at this first section down here. Let's say we're going to work our way up to around 10K per month, which seems to be the number that a lot of people seem to go for, a lot of coaches seem to go for. Anyone see my content before, you'll know I'm not a massive fan of this whole idea. You must hit 10K, you must hit 30K, whatever it is per month. It's not about that. It's about you, your goals, and what you measure as your success. But I'm just going to use this as an easy number to figure this out. So if this is the size of the business that you're looking at, really this is where around 80%, so 80% of your effort should be. Because down here, you need to really understand what your goals are. And once you've got your goals, you can start setting some targets and you can start creating key performance indicators that are going to allow you to work towards it. So you can constantly try to make sure you're on your way to your goals, a bit like you would do with your clients. Next thing you want to do is get really good at doing sales and marketing and have some dialed in procedures in place for that sales process and that marketing process. You want to get this to a point where you're not even thinking about this process. So you'll be using scripts and guides and SOPs to help you go through this process. You should be able to wake up every single day knowing exactly what you need to do. And over in the PTD Ninja Academy, we do this by setting up something called the daily rounds. So it becomes like a little tick list of things you have to do each day. So you don't have to think. It just links through to procedures and you just go and do it. And then the other thing you want to be focused on is this bit, your product. So you want to make sure your product is as good as it can be. You want to start developing this product based on feedback from clients and always updating it, always adapting it to make sure it's the best that it can be. And by making your product as good as it can be, it's going to do three main things. One, it's going to get great results for your clients. That's going to lead to better testimonials and better reviews that again can be used in your sales and marketing. The other thing that having a really good product is going to do is make sure that when people are going through this process, that you can take them from that first product and move them into a back-end offer. This is where you'd normally put them into some kind of subscription-based model, and you can make recurring revenue from them. And when you can do that and retain your clients for the long term by having such a good product, then that's where the real money is actually made in online coaching. So that's really where 8% of your time wants to be if you have this size business. So 8% at the bottom, 20% up here, which would be looking at some lead gen, looking at maybe using some of your teams and operations, looking at the range of services you might have, and of course, looking at the finances. Now, as your business starts to develop, you'll find you're moving further and further up this process here. So when you start getting between sort of 10K and 30K, you're going to find that most of your effort, or say 80% of your effort, is going to be around managing your team and the operations and around lead generation. These other areas here, such as your product, sales, marketing, and your goals and KPIs that you're tracking, and these areas up here, range and finance, are going to be taken care of. So your goals, you already know what your targets are. You already know what you're working towards. You've already built SOPs for that. Your sales and marketing, you have such dialed-in systems that they're just taking care of themselves, or you might have other people in your team doing that down here. And same for your product. Your product, you'll have good systems and processes to help manage your product. You might even have your team helping you do that as well. So now a lot of your effort is on actually managing your team, managing the day-to-day operations, and investing more time and money into lead generation. Now, you want to start growing your business even more. So then we'll move up to this top section here, where you'll focus 80% of your time, and then the rest of your time is going to be in this area down here. And again, that's because you've got things in place. You built a team, you've got operations that are running and systems that are running. You've got your lead generation pretty much on autopilot. Your product's taking care of itself. You've got a team looking after that. Your sales and marketing's taking care of itself because you have the SOPs and process in place. Teams looking after that. And you know what your goals are. Then up here at the top, now you're looking at the finances. You're making sure that the numbers are all adding up. And you're looking at what other things you can do in your business to grow it, develop it, or expand it into different areas. Now, that's pretty much the focus pyramid. And as you can see, it kind of develops over time with your business. Now, most people, I think, that will be listening to this video are probably going to be falling around this section down here at the bottom. And this kind of leads me right back to why we started this whole video in the first place, which is why lead gen, I think, being focused on too much in the early days is what's going to cause you to have issues in the future. And that's because you're putting so much effort into lead gen, you don't have the product and the sales and marketing or an understanding of your goals in place. You may be going to these lead gen companies and they say, right, we're going to hit these targets. And it sounds good on paper. You know, when you're seeing ads and marketing, I've earned 10K this month, 50K this month. I've had 10 new clients sign up this month. That's all great. But if you don't have the right product in place that's going to deliver a great service, you're not going to go and keep them. You're going to get bad reviews and it's going to be short-lived. If you don't have the process to actually really make sales and to make sure you follow up with all those new leads that are coming in from your lead gen, you're going to lose so many of them. So your cost per lead is going to be extremely expensive because you don't have these things in place. You'll also find as well, as you're putting all this money into lead generation, you don't have a lot of good marketing in place, that any leads that do come in aren't ready to go and sign up when they're doing their research and looking around at you and everything else like that. They're not going to see much about you and it's going to take you longer to go and build up trust, again, costing you money in the lead gen. So without all these things in place first, this can be very costly, both in the immediate future and also further into the future as well. So if you are new to online personal training, no matter what you kind of see online or anything like that, the thing you need to go and focus on, or the things you want to focus and measure your time on, are these here. You want to truly understand why you are in business in the first place. You want to make sure that you have great sales skills and great sales systems and marketing processes in place. And you want to make sure you make the best product possible for your business to deliver the best results to your clients. Do most of these, then you'll pretty much get to where I think the majority of people want to be with their business, which is to actually have a comfortable life with a bit of autonomy and control over their time and their income, to be able to go on a few holidays a year, to pay for a decent mortgage, and also to have enough money in the bank for a decent retirement. If you're happy with that, then this is pretty much all you need to go and focus on. And if you do that, you'll definitely start reaching those levels of success that you wanted. So there you go. I hope today's video has been useful and giving you a better idea about where to go and focus your time on your business and where most of your effort should be. As always, if you've liked this video and enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe. We're always putting new videos up every single week to try and help you build, launch, and grow your own successful online fitness business. Also, if you are interested in getting extra help and support with building, launching, and growing your own successful online fitness business, you can come and join us over at the PTD Ninja Academy. The link to go and join the Academy is around this video somewhere, and I'll also pop it into the description. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye, and see you next time.